What's going on, Socialites? Welcome back to another Global Pokemon Society, Pokemon Unite, rehashing our tier list, our controversial tier list after the game is out for one day. So now it's been over a week. I think it's day 9 now. So even almost a week and a half. And a lot's changed. I mean, obviously, I've gone to play a lot more with all the different Pokemon instead of just an hour. Even some of them just like a game or two here and there. In that one day review, I was going off a lot of what other people were talking about. As I mentioned, I did a lot of research on that. And we got a new character added yesterday in Gardevoir. So we'll be able to add her, him, it, they to the tier list as well. I'm not going to go super in depth. I'll probably bring up Gardevoir's page from Unite DB. Check them out. Link down below. Very good resource. Just to talk about her, but the rest we're going to kind of just give my general thoughts compared to where they were in the last tier list. And also I just want to say too that I'm going to talk about some other just general discussion. Held items, just some brief stuff on held and battle items, and then the big Zapdos controversy. So with that, let's get right into it here. So, starting off, we got Cramorant. Now, Cramorant is basically a mage in the game. He's a ranged DPS. I still like him in B. We had him in B last time. I think that's where he deserves to be. I haven't been swayed either way if he's better or worse. He's definitely good at zoning out targets with his hurricanes and whirlpools. Surf is a very good move. Again, it does some zoning, gives him a little bit of a dash, but it can push the enemies to follow after him. So one of those things. But yeah, very solid. I think a skilled Cramorant player can definitely do a lot to cause havoc on the battlefield. Alright, Charizard. So Charizard definitely went down for me. Some people might want him in D tier. I don't know if he's that bad, because his Unite move is really good, and it charges up pretty quick too, so you can probably get to use it like 3 times in a match. But yeah, he's basically invulnerable as he's doing the flamethrower, and then if you time it right, you get your seismic slam off there before it ends. But yeah, he's just not as impactful as I would like. He can really stick onto enemies with his abilities. But yeah, just not very impactful overall. Pikachu. So we had Pikachu S tier. I think Pikachu's still really good, but I'll have to bring it down to A tier. Now, Electro Ball Thunderbolt is a really good combo. I'm sure you've had to have him before where you're in a fight with the Pikachu, you're at low health, you're like, okay, oh dang, you see the Electro Ball coming, you eject button or you dash out of the way, and you're like, okay, good, I'm back at my base, the Electro Ball still hits you. It travels light years to find you, hunt you down. So yeah, Pikachu, very good ranged DPS, very good laner. I just think that there are some other Pokemon that moved up. Alright, Absol. Absol I had S tier last time too, and I'm going to drop him down to A tier. Very good Unite move. I just think that he's an assassin role, a jungler assassin role. And I think his kit's very good. I like Pursuit for sure. I just think where I had him at S tier, there's some other Pokemon that you guys might know about that moved up to kind of be similar, if not a little bit better than him. So that's what kind of... I don't think you need Absol on every team, which is why he's not in S tier now. Alright, Ninetales. So a lot of people are putting Ninetales at S tier. I'm torn between S and A. We had her in the A tier last time. So do I think she's moved up? She is very annoying to play against. A lot of people are running Avalanche, but I've heard people swear by Dazzling Gleam, but I haven't seen a lot of Dazzling Gleam. it's a very short range cone, but if you can get multiple Pokemon in there with a stun with teammate support, she's very good. And her freezing abilities really let her press the advantage because Pokemon can't really run away from her. I think I'm going to put her in S tier. We'll see where it ends up. I might move her down to A tier. Aurora Veil, of course, is still very good for holding points or big, you know, mob battles when you go in for like a Dreadnought or, you know, Zapdos late game. Cinderace. I think Cinderace is still in the A tier. It's just very solid, very, very good Pokemon. Like, if you're kind of like new to the game, pick up Cinderace. You'll have a good time. Alright, Crustal. I got a lot of heat for Crustal, but again, I'm not super impressed with its kit. Sometimes someone will choose Rock Tomb and they'll throw me off for like one fight, and then I just play around it. But the X-Scissor Shell Smash, I don't know. I'm never afraid of it. I mean, I do play Snorlax. I do main Snorlax, so I'm not supposed to be afraid of anything because I can take on basically any 1v1, 2v1 until teammate support or whatever comes in. But yeah, Crustal. Listen, I love you, Rock Crab. You know, shout out to the Rock Crab, but no. Eldegoss. Eldegoss goes from our A tier to our S tier. A well-played Eldegoss just gives you so much sustainability. It's crazy. If you're doing like competitive, Eldegoss in like the lower lane will be huge for you. It'll let you get those Dreadnoughts. It'll let you win those team fights around those mobs. Very good stuff. Alright, Garchomp we had as S tier. He's fallen off a lot for me. Listen, when he's Garchomp, he's A tier. Before that, he's like D or C tier. Like, he is so bad early game. I still haven't figured out the right way that I want to play him. I like to use him in quick battles because obviously you scale up a lot faster in those. So when I gotta do like my couple quick battles for my daily missions, like I'll choose like a Garchomp or, you know, something like that. Been trying out Gardevoir in there because again you can just kind of get in, level up, and see what your max potential is. But yeah, Garchomp, I'm going to put him in the B tier. Again, when he's Garchomp, he's probably A tier. With his passive is really good. He does so much damage. His Unite move, I've learned to play around it. When you see your opponent kind of go for it, just kind of like back off for a few seconds. Then you can come back in while he's in that like, you know, catching his breath state. So yeah, maybe the early game really hurts him. Like, I'm not afraid of a Gibble or a Gabite. Alright, we'll save Gardevoir for last year. Gengar. I got a lot of flack. I had Gengar in the C tier last time. Got a lot of flack. I'm going to move him up to the A tier. A lot of people still say he's S tier because of Sludge Hex spam. I've heard a couple people say they use Shadow Ball Dream Eater. I haven't seen it. Everyone kind of just runs the Sludge Hex. But again, I'm not too worried about it. I don't know. I think too many people are thinking he's OP. He's very good, don't get me wrong. He's very good. He can definitely snipe something down, and that's what I was kind of saying about Absol losing out his role as an assassin. I think Gengar takes a lot from that. Gengar will just jungle and then gank something. Be able to take like 2 kills pretty quick. Sometimes even 3 if they get a really good Sludge Bomb. But yeah, I don't think it's necessarily S tier just because in my games, it kind of has a little bit of Garchomp syndrome where Ghastly and Haunter aren't too great, so you gotta kind of wait for a later game until he starts like picking stuff off. So if you can control the lanes, you'll be alright. Alright, Greninja. This one I got a lot of flack. We had in the D tier last time. It's interesting, right? Water Shuriken, great kiting move. Smokescreen, great dash. You can dash in, you can dash out, you know, to score. But that's kind of like its kit, right? I think I need more time with Greninja because there's a lot of synergies with it. I understand. So I'm going to put in the B tier. It's very skill intensive. I have not put the time into it that I would need. But yeah, I don't think it's, you know, garbage D tier. I think the skill ceiling definitely kind of like turned me off from it at the beginning. But now that I've played a little bit more and I've kind of like learned the mechanics of the game and the flow of the game and everything, I can understand what Greninja wants to do a little bit more. But it's still pretty tough. As an attacker, like, I'd rather have Ninetales, I'd rather have Pikachu, I'd rather have Cinderace, you know, like, easily over a Greninja. Just the power that these three add, and, you know, just general ease of use, I want to say. Like, less mental fatigue. Like, you know, I want to be focusing on what's going on the map, not what I'm pressing with the buttons really so much. But that's my playstyle. Alright, Lucario, he's moving up too. We had him as a B. I didn't play too much as him. I just figured, like, okay, he's a faster Charizard, and we had Charizard in B, so yeah, he's S tier. We'll get to a couple other Pokemon, but he's just hard counters to things like Gengar and the other like S and A tiers. Has a very good range on his I think it's called Bone Rush attack. Just very solid, best all-arounder for sure. All right, Machamp. Machamp's interesting for me. So we had him in the B tier last time. I think he's still B tier. I think he's good. Submission is a great move. I usually go submission close combat, but I think I gotta try cross chop. See how that goes. And try that set out before I can say if he's like higher or not. But he's definitely very solid. Like, submission's so good. You just sprint at a guy, flip him behind you. Your teammates can gank him. If you can run like a somewhat bulkier Machamp, that'll be great. Alright. So Mr. Mime kind of falls into the same trap as Greninja with very high skill ceiling. I'm going to keep him in the C tier, which is where we had him last time because of that. He actually doesn't do bad damage, and his walls can be a tad annoying. Although, again, because of skill ceiling, I think I've gone up against like one good Mr. Mime where everywhere I tried to go, it seemed like a wall would just pop up in front of me. Most of the time, they're like either too far behind or way too far out in front that I can like go around it. So, Slowbro. Slowbro's staying in S tier. Surf is a great move. You know, that's really all I need. Surf. Telekinesis can be annoying, but I think Amnesia is better in a bubble. Kind of lets you hold a point a little bit better by yourself. Telekinesis can let your teammates kind of snipe something, but yeah, Slowbro, not going to say too much. Snorlax, my boy, S tier, best defender in the game. Yeah, again, not going to say too much about that. Go check out my other video if you want my thoughts on Snorlax. Alright, here's a big drop. Talonflame. Now, I was thinking this boy fast. He's got a huge range on his attacks. You know, being able to just like dash across the map. But this boy dies. He dies. He's got the best skin in the game with the pilot. You know, comment down below if you were lucky enough to unlock that in the energy thing. I'm still rolling for it. But, yeah, just way too squishy. Way too squishy, Talonflame. Wigglytuff. Alright, Wigglytuff we had in the B tier. I think she's better than that. I'm going to put her in A. I think she's an A tier support. Sing is definitely very good. I underestimated that. And her Unite move is very powerful in team fights, letting you hold a point. Venusaur, still going to be in D tier. Good range. Good early game. Very good early game. Got some of the best moves early game for Bulbasaur, Ivysaur. But just have never been impressed when I'm playing with Venusaur. Never really been outplayed by a Venusaur. Like, you know the Solar Beam's coming. You just kind of move around a little bit. Alright, Zera Aura is going to be our last S tier. Yeah, I've been liking Spark a little bit more than Volt Switch now. Kind of lets you dance around. Again, he's a good Gengar counter. With Discharge and Spark, you're jumping around, you're doing all this damage. Discharge, great. Just always pick Discharge. He gets healing back from his basic attack, so that's huge. But yeah, you want a solid team, you go with this core right here. You got like Ninetales, Snorlax up top, Eldegoss, Lucario down low, and jungling Zera Aura, you're good. Alright, last, the new Mon on the block, Gardevoir. Kind of in the same idea as Garchomp. Very, very bad early game. Does get Teleport as an ability early game, so you can at least get out of stuff and you're not like Gibble where you get 2v1 and die all the time. So better than Garchomp probably right now. Her attacks are good, so actually let's take a look at that. So first passive, very good. If you get like a decreased movement speed or damage over time condition, she puts on the Pokemon that gave it to you. So if they're decreasing your speed while you're trying to run away or kite around, they'll also be decreased, so you're both moving at relatively the same speed anyway. And then if, let's say, a Gengar drops a Sludge Bomb on you when he's going for the Hex Spam, he's also going to be taking damage, which could be the difference in turning that, you know. Yeah. So for the just basic stats, very good offense, kind of like a Ninetales sort of thing, but with a little bit less support. You know, good offense, not so much mobility and endurance. So Moonblast, always pick Moonblast. It stuns a target, does damage through. It's a skill shot, so you do gotta like practice with it. And for the second one, this is kind of where you have a choice. You have Psyshock, which does 3 bursts, and you can walk with it, which is very good. Enemies that are running away, it's got a decent range, so if you're right behind them, you can go pop, pop, pop. Or if you're kiting them, you can pop, pop, pop. Or if you're just in the middle of a fray, you just drop it, pop, pop, pop. Does a lot of damage. I think the total is something like 2,400 damage or something, if you're like maxed out. But yeah, off of just one of those. And then Future Sight, this is the one that a lot of people are talking about, but it's so, like, you gotta get to level 12 to do this, but it creates like an air effect, and then after like 1.5 seconds or something, it does an explosion. The explosion isn't that strong, but if your opponents are hit, it does reduce the cooldown to like 3 seconds, which is good. Like, it makes it spammable. And then once you hit level 12, once you're hitting, it resets automatically. But again, unless you got like a big cluster, like it'll be good in Zapdos fights, but I think Psyshock will also be good in Zapdos fights, like where a lot of teams are like clustered around together. Her ultimate though is very good. Again, it's targeted, so there is some skill around, but it creates a area of effect black hole. It's a pretty small area of effect, even for a Unite move, but it'll drag in the opponents. That'll let you do your Future Sights, your Psyshocks, you know, all this stuff. Your opponent, your teammates can all gank in there. So again, she has a pretty high skill ceiling, and she's not good in the early game, which is why I think she's a B tier. But you get good with her, and she can move up to A. So this is my new one. Couple guys moving up. You know, some big jumps are Lucario going from B to S, and Gengar C to A. And then the big drops are Talonflame from A to D. Other than that, not too much has changed for me, but let me know what you think. And I want to talk about just a couple things. So items. People are always asking like, what are good items? What should you use for battle items? Get rid of this potion. Get rid of these X things. Eject button. 90% of the time, you should just pick eject button. You know, movement is king. Doesn't matter what game you're in. If you can move better than your opponent, you can outplay them. You can get in or out of different situations. You know, they're retreating, you can gank that kill that you need so that the goal is now undefended. Fluffy Tail's okay if you're a jungler. You could go it, but you would really need like a good reason to over eject button. Full heal, I think in tournament play, full heal could see more. I wouldn't really ladder with it. And then Goal Getter also isn't too bad. You'll only be able to use it like 3 times, but I mean, it makes a big difference. But I think that there are some held items that would help you out better with that. And then Slow Smoke, I thought Slow Smoke would be better. Maybe I gotta test it out more. But eject button like 90% of the time. Fluffy Tail maybe like 5%. Full heal and Goal Getter the other 2. And as for the held items, if you're an attacker, just know if you deal physical or special and go between, you know, Wise Glasses, Muscle Band, you know, special attack specs, weight attack. If you have one of these items, the weight attack or the specs, definitely want to go with the score shield because that'll let you guarantee. And you want to do small goals because this stacks over the whole game. So you want to just take those like 3-point goals when you can. You know, don't feel like you gotta, you know, you push a lane, you score, they got their core fish down there, kill it, score again. Like you're getting huge buffs from that. If you're more defensive, then definitely Buddy Barrier, something like Focus Band, Rocky Helmet, those will all be good. Assault Vest is okay. It's kind of disappointing that it only works against special attackers, which is probably like less than 50% of what you'll play against. But yeah, that's just some of my thoughts. Leftovers isn't good. XP share I don't really like either. So, yep. And last thing I want to talk about is Zapdos. So a lot of people are talking about, is Zapdos broken? Now I've had games where it feels like we're dominating the whole thing, then the opponent gets Zapdos, they score like 400 or 500 points, and yeah, we lose. And then I've had games where we win the team fight in there and we're knocking down Zapdos, and then one person from the opposing team is able to snipe it, and we're like, okay, so we won that team fight, we did 99% of the damage Zapdos, they miraculously get the last hit on it, so now we go back on defense, and I shut them out. So it's a big team fight. That's really what it is. It's a team fight that can definitely decide the game. And what does that mean? The big problem with that is, well, there's 2 problems. One, the sniping factor. Who brought this up to me? Or not to me, but in one of their videos. One second, I'm gonna look this up. But so the scenario I just said right there with the sniping. All right, Spraggles. Spraggles talked about that. If you haven't checked out Spraggles, definitely do. Been watching a lot of him. Been watching a lot of Peak, so definitely check them out. But yeah, but he was saying that he heard that like Zapdos should have 2 separate HP pools for each team. That would solve the sniping issue. You win the team fight, they either got to catch back up to you before you kill Zapdos. Like they can't just come in and click a surf or something and get the KO. You know, lucky bastards. But yeah, that would probably fix that because that is annoying. But can you tweak how swingy it is? Because again, you can. A strategy might be to score 79 points on each of the top and bottom goal, and then just save everything for the Zapdos fight. Now, you are putting yourself at risk that if you don't win the Zapdos fight, then you're definitely screwed. So it's like a 50-50, but if you're just smart and save up your Unite moves, you know, play carefully, work as a team, you should be okay. But yeah, I'm not sure. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments, how you would tweak Zapdos. I'm not sure because he makes all of your goals defenseless. He gives everybody in your team 20 energy to go score with. So basically that's 40 energy because you're you know, in the last 2 minutes of the game. Not sure. So let me know what you think about that. Let me know your thoughts again on the tier list. You know, I hope the salty Greninja players are less salty. And yeah, tomorrow morning we're going to be having a live stream at 9 a.m. Eastern for the finals of our draft league, Pokemon Sword and Shield Draft League. So check it out. It'll be your Boston Braviaries taking on the Tokyo Togekiss. So could we get our 4th trophy? You see a couple trophies back there maybe. Kind of tiny on the screen, but yeah. So yeah, definitely come hang out with us for that. Maybe we'll play some Unite after or something. My work schedule been a little hectic, so haven't been streaming too much of that. But yeah, thanks again, and as always, stay classy, Society.